Great archaeological finds help us understand the past more deeply. They draw us closer to the people who built them and remind us that even though those who lived centuries or millennia ago followed different customs and beliefs, they weren't so different from us. Their world might have looked unfamiliar, but their humanity feels surprisingly close. Still, some finds haven't gotten the attention they deserve. So let's take a look at a few incredible archaeological finds that history nearly left behind. And trust me, each one speaks louder than the pages of any book. Number 15. Babylon Set's Ghost Tablet. Ghost stories have been around far longer than we have written records, but the oldest known drawing of a ghost was etched into a Babylonian tablet over 3,500 years ago. The artifact, now at the British Museum, doesn't just show a ghost, it includes instructions on how to get rid of one. The image features an angry, bearded male figure bound in chains. Priests at the time advised the haunted to find a living woman the ghost could fall for, then he'd finally leave. The tablet is incomplete, but experts believe the missing section likely gave advice for handling female spirits. What makes this find so surreal is how familiar it all feels. That chain-dragging, cranky old spirit is the same type we still talk about in ghost stories today. For all our progress, the way we imagine the supernatural hasn't changed much, and thousands of years ago, people were already trying to reason with it, or at least get it to fall in love and move on. Number 14. Carved turnips in Ireland. This one leans more into tradition than discovery, but we had to show you these eerie turnips. Halloween might now revolve around pumpkin carving, but in old Ireland it was turnips that took center stage. These grim-looking root vegetables were carved and placed outside homes to scare off evil spirits. Somehow they managed to look far more unsettling than any pumpkin ever could. The custom traces back to the ancient pagan festival of Samhain, the same event that inspired modern Halloween. The Museum of Ireland in County Mayo holds one of the best carved turnips, its twisted, angry expression frozen under layers of plaster. When turnips weren't available, beets, radishes, or even potatoes were used instead. Pagans also wore costumes during Samhain to ward off spirits, a tradition that still lives on today. That haunting glare carved into a vegetable wasn't just for fun, it was protection, ritual, and storytelling all in one. These twisted faces marked a time when the line between the living and the dead felt razor thin. Number 13. Stupa of Takht-i Rostam. Today, Afghanistan is a devoutly Muslim country, but long before Islam, it was once a center of Buddhist culture. One of the clearest remaining traces of that era is the Takht-i Rostam, carved into the bedrock near Samangan. The monument is fortified by a 25-foot-deep trench, forming a natural moat around the central dome. Its upper chamber once housed relics believed to be associated with the Buddha, while the lower levels included meditation caves for monks. These chambers would have been dimly lit, the only illumination coming from small rooftop openings. Living in these narrow, quiet spaces was likely part of the monks' spiritual discipline. Though the Bamiyan Buddhas were destroyed in 2001, Takht-i Rostam still stands, an enduring symbol of a vanished religious tradition. Its architecture is often compared to Ethiopia's rock-hewn churches, both in ambition and execution. Despite centuries of erosion and political upheaval, this carved sanctuary remains one of the most remarkable Buddhist monuments left in the region. Number 12. Neanderthal engravings in Gorham Sips Cave. Deep inside Gorham's Cave in Gibraltar, archaeologists found something totally unexpected: 39,000-year-old engravings made by Neanderthals. The carvings resemble a pattern similar to a tic-tac-toe board and were etched into a raised stone platform about 16 inches above the cave floor. This platform has long revealed evidence of Neanderthal life, from tools to food remains, but these marks, deliberate and layered, suggest something more symbolic thinking. Dating cave art is never easy, but the sediment above the engravings contain Neanderthal-made tools, placing the art securely within their timeline. Some researchers think the carvings might be early abstract expression or even a basic mapping system. Whatever their purpose, they show cognitive complexity once doubted in Neanderthals. These weren't mindless brutes, they were capable of symbolism and communication. The find adds to growing evidence that Neanderthals had culture, memory, and maybe even art. In the flicker of firelight, they scratched meaning into stone, not for us, but now we're the ones left interpreting it. Number 11, Irish Passage Tombs. In County Meath, archaeologists found a Neolithic passage tomb they called the find of a lifetime, and it lives up to the title. Estimated to be over 5,500 years old, the site includes two chambered tombs beneath a large cairn, surrounded by 6 carefully arranged curbstones. Each burial chamber is richly adorned with carvings and abstract symbols, forming one of the most detailed examples of Neolithic art in Europe. The people who built it were likely among Ireland's first farmers, settling the land and honoring their dead with remarkable care. Even the outer curbstones bear decorative patterns, suggesting that every part of the tomb had ceremonial significance. What's most surprising is the tomb's location, within the Brú na Bóinne UNESCO World Heritage Site, an area already thought to be thoroughly explored. Somehow, this masterpiece went unnoticed until recently. Its sudden appearance has reshaped our understanding of the region's prehistoric culture and shown that even in familiar places, the past still has more to offer. Number 10, Brienne Collection. In 2021, a team at Queen Mary University of London digitally opened 300-year-old letters without ever breaking their seals. Using X-ray microtomography, researchers scanned folded documents from the Brienne collection, a stash of undelivered European mail stored in The Hague. Before the invention of envelopes, people practiced letter locking, folding paper in complex ways to protect the message inside. If a recipient couldn't be found or refused delivery, the letters were stored instead of destroyed. The result? Over 3,000 messages were preserved by accident. This method allowed researchers to read texts in full detail, like one letter from Jacques Sénac requesting his cousin Pierre Liers provide a copy of a death certificate, dated July 1697. Most of the mail deals with personal, everyday matters, but each piece opens a window into a world otherwise forgotten. These weren't intended to be read by anyone else, and yet now, centuries later, we're able to witness their contents, quiet reminders of lives paused mid-sentence, waiting to be heard. Number 9, Ancient City of Harla. In 2017, archaeologists found the remains of an ancient city near Harla, Ethiopia, an unexpected discovery that quickly rewrote the region's early history. Artifacts recovered from the site suggest it was a major trading hub, active around the 10th century. Among the finds were imported goods from India, China, and Egypt, clear evidence of far-reaching commercial ties. The city's ruins also include a 12th century mosque built in a style similar to those in Somalia and Tanzania, hinting at widespread Islamic influence across East Africa during that era. Local folklore long claimed that Harla was once inhabited by giants, but modern excavation was initially meant to explore that legend, not uncover an entire urban complex. Researchers were stunned to find permanent architecture, domestic tools, and long-distance trade goods. The site now offers critical insight into pre-colonial African trade and religion. Harla's ruins prove that it wasn't an imaginary city from myth, it was a thriving multicultural hub long before modern borders divided the region. Number 8. Roman grave slab with libation holes. This Roman burial slab offers a rare look into how the living once cared for the dead. Inscribed with the spirits of the dead, the stone was dedicated to a man whose name is partially preserved. But what makes the find unusual is its design. Small holes were carved into the surface to pour libations like wine, milk, honey, oil, or water directly into the grave. These offerings were thought to nourish the dead in the afterlife, or perhaps to pacify their spirits and prevent them from lingering. The slab is also tied to history in another way. It once belonged to the Gorga collection, amassed by Italian opera tenor Evangelista Gorga, and later acquired by Henry Wellcome in the early 20th century. This isn't just a burial marker, it's part of an ancient ritual system that connected the living to the dead through shared ceremonies. In every sense, it shows that remembrance wasn't just spiritual, it was tangible, intentional, and performed with care. Number 7. Ancient crayon. Archaeologists working along the edge of an ancient lake in North Yorkshire uncovered a small artifact that resembles a red crayon. It dates back roughly 10,000 years and is thought to have belonged to prehistoric hunter-gatherers. Found near a red ochre pebble at the opposite side of the lake, the object appears to have been used for drawing or symbolic purposes. Red ochre had particular importance in Stone Age societies. Some experts believe it was used to decorate bones before burial or even to color the inside of skulls for ritual purposes. Though the exact use of this crayon remains uncertain, its existence proves that color already held deep meaning in early human life. The red pigment is natural, long-lasting, and easy to make, which may explain its widespread use, but the consistency of red ochre across multiple European sites suggests it wasn't just about availability. Whether marking bodies, tools, or caves, early people weren't simply surviving, they were expressing, remembering, and perhaps even honoring the dead. Number 6. Baltic pottery of corded ware culture. Around 5,000 years ago, a wave of ceramic innovation spread across the Baltic region. Archaeologists believe much of it came from highly skilled female potters during the corded ware culture period. Pottery uncovered across modern-day Sweden, Finland, and Estonia shares a common signature: old, broken pottery fragments crushed and mixed into fresh clay. This technique hadn't been seen before and suggests a distinctive tradition that spread rapidly across the region. Many of the original pieces seem to have been crafted in Sweden before appearing later in Finland and Estonia, possibly brought by women marrying into local communities and passing on their skills. Some experts propose that these artisans were part of a nomadic network, trading not just pottery but also knowledge. This finding challenges the assumption that Stone Age seas were barriers. Instead, the Baltic Sea may have been a bridge linking far-flung communities through craftsmanship, culture, and shared innovation. Number 5. Ancient boomerangs in South Australia. Few objects are as closely linked to Australia as the boomerang, but not all were meant to return. In Kepa Creek and Anka, South Australia, 4 17th century wooden boomerangs were uncovered during archaeological surveys in 2017 and 2018. These particular boomerangs aren't of the returning kind. Instead, analysis in 2021 revealed they were multi-purpose tools used for hunting, digging, managing fire, and even close combat. Their designs reflect versatility rather than just flight. The artifacts are believed to have been built by the Yandrawanda people, whose culture was severely disrupted by European colonization. Descendants of the Yandrawanda still live in the area today, and these boomerangs have since been returned to them. While most think of boomerangs as airborne toys, these were serious tools, designed for harsh landscapes and survival. Their design, function, and craftsmanship speak volumes about the people who made them. They weren't meant to come back. They were meant to get the job done, and clearly they did. Number 4. Sicily mummies. You've seen mummies in museums, but probably not dressed like this. Inside the Capuchin monastery catacombs in Palermo, rows of embalmed bodies line the walls, each wearing their finest clothes exactly as they were when laid to rest. Some are inside open coffins, others mounted upright. The catacombs are divided by social role: monks in one room, doctors in another, women in theirs, and infants in their own space. The oldest known burial here is Friar Silvestro da Gubbio, who died in 1599. The most famous is little Rosalia Lombardo, a 2-year-old girl who passed in 1920. Her preservation is so pristine, she's known as Sleeping Beauty. Her embalming technique, more advanced than any other in the catacombs, keeps her looking eerily lifelike. Each room tells a story of class, ritual, identity, and the Sicilian approach to death. It's not just a grave site. It's a gallery of lives paused, frozen not in fear but in ritual, tradition, and memory. Number 3. Lustasansaugs Meadows. Linsaugs Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada, has long been known as a Viking settlement, but its exact date remained unclear. That changed in 2021. Using evidence from a solar storm that left distinct radiocarbon markers in tree rings, researchers pinpointed the year the Vikings were active on the site, 1021 CE. That's exactly 471 years before Columbus crossed the Atlantic. The settlement contains 8 turf-covered timber structures built in classic Norse style and situated near a bog and stream ideal for early habitation. These weren't just exploratory camps. The Vikings came seeking timber which was scarce in Greenland. Their longships, sometimes 70 feet long, were perfect for ocean travel, and this site proved they could make the journey. Discovered in 1960, Linsox Meadows was already a milestone in history, but now its timeline is no longer an estimate, it's precise. The sagas of Leif Erikson and other Norse explorers are beginning to align with hard evidence. The stories weren't fantasy, they were footprints. Number 2. Hidden structures beneath Stonehenge. Stonehenge has long captivated the world, but what lies beneath it might be even more compelling. A groundbreaking 4-year project completed in 2020 used magnetic scanning and ground-penetrating radar to map 20 square miles around the monument, digging down as far as 10 feet. What they found was a vast network of 17 previously unknown structures, along with numerous burial mounds and ceremonial monuments, some dating back over 6,000 years. One of the most notable finds is the Durrington Walls superhenge, once ringed with as many as 60 massive stones or posts. Another is a 100-foot-long barrow, hinting at complex burial rituals. Professor Vincent Gaffney from the University of Birmingham led the project and believes this discovery will reshape our understanding of Stonehenge completely. Rather than being an isolated monument, Stonehenge was clearly the focal point of an enormous, carefully designed ceremonial landscape. These structures were never meant to stand alone. They were part of a wider spiritual and cultural environment buried just beneath the surface. Number 1. Wari child sacrifices. Some of the darkest moments in archaeology involve uncovering human remains, and that becomes even more disturbing when the bones belong to children. That's what happened recently in northern Peru, where archaeologists uncovered the remains of 29 individuals at the pre-Inca site of Jaca Santa Rosa de Pucallpa. Tragically, they believe all the victims were children or teens, sacrificed as offerings ahead of the construction of a Wari temple over 1,000 years ago. Camelid and guinea pig bones were also found at the site, likely part of the same grisly ritual. Until now, there was no hard proof that the Wari ever practiced human sacrifice, though many suspected it. The graves were surrounded by ceremonial weapons and oversized pottery, suggesting the entire event was large-scale and ceremonial. Despite this chilling discovery, the Wari culture still remains largely a mystery. Excavations are ongoing, and researchers believe there's more to uncover at the site, and as you'll see, the next discovery also involves the Wari civilization. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.